die rolling. We're on episode 3
Three.
of the Star Engine.
3.
There's a little box down there, isn't there? A 5th person, you might say. That's strange. Very strange.
Hello, boys. Pink lemonade?
Mom!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Die Rolling. Due to a small scheduling change, your regular DM cannot join you as a DM this evening. Jack will be joining us as a player character that I'm sure will be revealed very shortly. And I'll be leading you for this evening. So welcome back, one and all. The first thing we have to do is our first order of business is to have a slight recap on what happened last session. So I'm going to go over to our newly coined hero of Felix.
It's Felix's kerfuffle!
Hey!
Thank you, I'm unprepared. We started our previous session by a well, having received and retrieved Claro's backpack, and the team having retrieved that went back to the house to dry out the dog and further discuss what the heck they were going to do with themselves. I think that's what happened.
Sounds about right.
Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right. There was a lot of chat about things and stuff and importantness.
Because they were deciding to prepare to do whatever the hell they were going to do. So they decided to go and get some wood and light the fire and catch up with their local friend. Can you remember what his name is? Runs the shop?
Oh, God
That's
damn it.
embarrassing.
That really is embarrassing. Yeah, that's it. That's the fella.
Old Ben.
One of these days I really ought to start taking notes.
Same name as Obi-Wan Kenobi. They caught up with Ben. Ben remembered you as a tiny little boy, Malcolm, running around in a sock-based t-shirt of some sort. However, and the team caught up and got rations, prepared.
Stocked up a little bit.
Exactly. Everything that they could have bought was in the player's handbook. You can play along too. However, all was changed by a brownie appearing that also had a pack. So they ran after said brownie into a house in the town. Fortunately, Thornair and Felix did not run into a whole bunch of death traps, sticky things.
Caltrops.
Due to a fantastic kind of investigation perception throw by Thornair, there was a standing tall wardrobe in the middle of the room and a weird guy sleeping in like...
Yes, which was...
We never did anything.
No, we never did find out what that was all about.
He ran off. The bag was on the wardrobe. We snuck past the caltrops.
Caltrops.
Lovely.
Got there in the end.
Decided to try and retrieve the backpack. Thornair, with a quick perception throw again, managed to not get caught by the...
Shackled.
Yeah, shackled. Thank you, words. By the brownie.
Who was intent on sticking handcuffs on anybody that came within range.
After the team pushed over the wardrobe and generally gave this brownie what for, but didn't kill them, it's not callous, they managed to break into the wardrobe and get all manner of shiny things. We got lots of money
many
and
valuables.
jewels and equivalents. the brownie ran off. We don't really know where he's gone, but we decided to rejoin back together in the middle of town. And that's very off-putting, Jack. You can't see him off camera. And then, much to Zolan's unhappiness, we met up with Mara White.
The high priestess or high druidess or something or another. The woman in charge.
Yeah,
Her name is White and she is the Maru.
She's not in charge of the Augurs now, but she holds a very high position in the Augurs now.
Certainly in charge of this bit anyway.
The toxin is what this is called. Toxin,
The toxin, not the town,
yeah.
and the group as well. within
Yeah,
the
and
town.
she kind of runs the toxin.
Perfect.
Local
So
cult leader.
Yeah.
Zolan, in his classic form, was hiding in a wardrobe in his, in Malcolm's house.
Yeah.
And he was later retrieved by Elantrix because he's a coward. And the conversation continued. She told us a lot of stuff.
Big info dump.
Let's see what my notes say.
A lot
I'm
of
glad you wrote
lies! That's what it is.
So let's see. So the madness has ended. That's good because Void is dead. There is the group, the Augurs of Nell, believe many things. If you want to know the deep details, go and listen to the last episode because I'm not going to go into all of it. However, the important things you need to know that they are interested in the forming of a cowl, which they believe is used to seal evil away, and it is made of 4 elements. Void, which was the chime of the mind. There's a chime of Arcana, element, and life. 3 other chimes. That is about as much as I remember. There is a royal bloodline that they believe to be the 4 chimes, or at least 4 elements of forming this cowl and sealing evil away. And they would like us to spread their message as Augurs of Nell witnesses and basically prove that they're not crazy to everyone.
Try and bring the descendants of these 4 godlings back together and
Seal evil away.
Yeah.
Standard or not standard. As Zolan has pointed out quite rightly, the story's a little bit wibbly-woo, and it doesn't necessarily match up with things that we've witnessed in the previous campaign.
Yeah.
So it's tough on us to we've got to try and work out what the real story is.
1,000 mile bell.
There's apparently a 1,000-mile bell.
Apparently a 1,000-mile bell.
Spagaza, I
1,000 mile
believe.
high.
Spetakaza. I'm going to write that down.
Spetakaza.
Lovely. So the team have a number of options in front of them. They can either go north to Spetakaza with Elantrix, who is on the way, one of the acolytes of the Augurs of Nell.
Who was very intent on leaving as soon as possible.
Shame we didn't go with her.
We've been told by a survivor of the previous campaign, a little boy called Maul, that Benji and Derek have been seen in the southwest 3 10-day ago, so a month basically, or a month if you will, and they are heading west, sort of along the human wall. They're a fair way away, and also we join the party as a backpack is being held by a brownie running in the west direction, being chased quickly by Malcolm and Felix.
By
Thank you very much.
angry Malcolm.
Well done, Felix.
It's been a day. It's been
a day. Well done. So, as I mentioned before, your regular DM won't be joining you. I'm Ollie. For those of you who don't know me, I played Nollis in the previous campaign and met a relatively sticky end. Feel free to watch back if you do not believe that to be true. Jack will not be DMing for us tonight. He will, in fact, be playing alongside us. Revenge, if you will. The power is all mine. So I think it's an appropriate start to the session to hand the mic over to Jack and to explain who you are and what the physical appearance of your new character is.
So Elantrix will be joining you. You've met Elantrix over the previous
We
2
have.
sessions.
She looks different to how I pictured her.
No. This is exactly how she looks. She has jet black hair, shoulder length. She's wearing the Augurs of Nell colour scheme, which is the white cape with little gold trim underneath, and a fairly open front to it with to this more like trench coat rather than robe, as it were. She's pretty. She's got kind of misty blue eyes, pale face. She carries a large mace, as described in the previous episode, which is hollowed out with 5 golden dragon wings of sorts joined at the apex. She also has a pack on her back, and it does look like there could be a crossbow strapped there. But she does seem to possibly be carrying that. She has some vials strapped to her on some of her belts. She's also got some scrolls and other texts, which just seems to be adorned to the outsides of her pack. She is an elf. She's a little under 6 foot, and that's a Lantrix. And yeah, it's my time for revenge. So yeah, I just dig. I'm just gonna start digging. See how far we can go.
Wherever everyone else is going, choose the other direction. Obviously, Felix recounted very accurately that there was some debate as to where the party's going to go next. So I'm going to accelerate this a little bit and kind of hopefully resolve, we'll find out if that's up to you guys, the direction of travel, if you like. Malcolm, I've got some bad news for you. It is very clear, very quickly, that the brownie in which you're pursuing, the brownie in which you have given chase to, quickly manages to get away.
God damn it.
They are just far too fast. As far
That's
as
my
the
pack.
sprinting race is
My
concerned,
pack.
as far as you know, it has disappeared.
Right.
You lose track of it entirely. There's a reason for this that we'll go into a little bit more detail on. That as you kind of start to leave and start to get to the periphery of Wig, you start to see the kind of expanse of the Elven land opening in front of you. And what you notice is actually largely is made up of fairly long kind of rolling hills. It's relatively kind of midday, and you see these rolling hills, and you see this blades of grass that are probably about an inch in width, about a foot tall, just waving. It gives the impression of this vista of almost a green ocean in front of you. But you can see pretty far into the distance over to the west, and still these rolling hills tend to protract. There doesn't seem to be anything in the distance. You're clear that this area is a great expanse. The brownie very easily is able to slip into this long grass, and you just cannot find them. The party find themselves together in a mixed match here and there, dragging themselves, following Malcolm, finding out whether somebody's nipped to the shop and gone to the toilet break before they've left, and find yourselves roughly together in this kind of grassy expanse. And immediately, I would like you all to roll your persuasion check. Jesus.
My dice.
Who's wearing galoshes?
Yeah. Oh yes, remember your galoshes. Which I believe it was +1 to persuasion, is that right? Because they are so fashionable.
Just out of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
was the brownie also carrying my staff?
You believe so. It was definitely a large, sticky object.
Ooh.
That's my first roll.
Do it in the bowl.
What do I do?
Do it in the
Yeah,
bowl.
you should do
I
it.
don't know what
in
to
the
do.
bowl. Do it in the bowl.
What am I adding? Let's say 13 plus persuasion we're on.
Persuasion, please.
Plus 3,
Are
16.
you persuaded?
16. Straight off the bat.
Have we still got disadvantage on these? No. Is an ability check?
You are still exhausted.
Yeah.
Exhausted.
We
You're
still got
very
yeah.
honest.
Sorry.
You're not. You are.
I am.
Yeah.
You find yourself in this
not.
grassy expanse.
Cool.
You don't entirely know, but you're feeling very persuasive right now.
20 unnatural.
20 unnatural.
14.
14.
7.
7.
What's the bonus we get for the galoshes?
Plus
One.
one.
Plus 1. 5.
5. Okay. Immediately we are going to turn to Felix.
5.
Felix, you realise that you have gained the upper hand as far as negotiations of where this party is going to go is concerned, and you're willing to make your case for where we should go next. Bearing in mind your party's relatively knackered at this point. Where does Felix think we should go and why?
So the little man in the sunlight is quite adorable looking. And it's very hard to deny what he has to say. And he explains to you that I don't even know what a barrack or a denji even is, and to be honest, if I did, I probably wouldn't even care. It seems like the hero's journey is heading north to Specigazer. He scratches his head. He can't think of how to pronounce it.
Sounds pretty good.
Zolan, you need to see if there really is a 1,000-mile bell. I mean, it seems pretty important. And you should probably read some of them books and see if these people are crazy or not. So let's go that way. And it makes a lot of sense.
Surprisingly, it does.
Elantrix is walking about 10 foot ahead of you at all times, particularly Felix.
I think whether it's the fact that there is a dog man talking to you, or for some other reason, takes you aback a fair amount, and for whatever reason, you find yourself talking and following Felix for a few yards. You're kind of travelling vaguely in the northern direction. As that happens, as I've explained before, you see this expanse opening up in front of you, kind of to your right-hand side, right off in the distance. If you strain your eyes in the midday sun, you can see some kind of jagged peaks appearing through kind of the mist in the background. But that's kind of the only thing you see. There's the occasional copse of trees, but other than that, not a great deal. It's this great kind of green expanse that opens up and rolling hills open up. You travel north for a small period of time and start to feel that you are very, very tired. Impressively tired. Probably the tiredest, likely the most tired you have ever felt in your adventure so far. But as you're travelling, you come across a path. Interestingly enough, the path is very straight and goes directly north, almost as if somebody was trying to choose the most direct path to another location. And as you look down at the path, it's relatively soft below your feet, and you see that the blades of grass in some way are almost woven into one another. So the path itself is made out of a decaying path of this grass that's almost woven much like a basket. You don't know whether that's deliberate, whether somebody has woven it by hand, or whether it's just a natural occurrence as this grass is kind of stomped underfoot. But you travel north for a little bit while, and I'll be completely honest with you, you're starting to feel the tiredness. Some of you are starting to feel particularly tired. Felix, you're feeling okay. Alantrix, you're feeling alright. The rest of the party, not so much. Zolan's feeling a little bit worse for wear for
Half
helping
dead.
you out.
I feel like I've died and I've been dug back up again and been forced to march.
So really the decision now is up to you guys. You're travelling north. You can now do whatever it is you feel you need to do. Whether that is rest up, whether it's push on. What would you like to do next?
I feel we ought to rest up.
You know
If
what
we're
time of
going
day it
to.
is?
Roughly midday. It's hard to tell, to be totally honest. You've been out of it for a long time, but based on the sun position, you think it's roughly midday.
I mean, it's been a very busy morning. I think.
Is there a nice tree nearby?
Actually not, sadly. You have this big wavy grass, there's an occasional copse of trees here and there, but you probably have to go off the path a fair amount to do it, but it is possible.
Just haven't seen one for a while.
You
Big
have,
old present.
Hug a tree.
you have been asleep for 2 years. Do you really need to rest more?
Well, having been asleep for 2 years, I feel like my energy levels are well below what they should be. I'm very much in recovery, I think. It's been a long time since either of us did any sort of physical activity, so it's, we're getting tired fairly quickly.
I understand, though. If you need to rest, you rest.
I would also like some
First
time
in
to...
his life, Tyranny yawns. That says it all. He's going to sit down really quickly.
I'm feeling pretty good, so I'll stand watch if you guys want to have a little, especially you.
I would love that, yes.
You're
Oh.
welcome.
I would love that, yes.
I'll watch the dog.
I will watch, and she will watch me. It's fine.
Can we eat as well?
Of course.
Yeah, that would be...
How are you going to go about it? You kind of on this path that's woven, there's largely just a grassy expanse. How are you going to kind of make a camp?
I'll dive straight in the grass.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need a camp.
How long
Just
is
a
the
bit-
grass?
Yeah.
Oh, it's roughly kind
Will
of...
it like unweave and flop under?
Yeah, it's kind of up to 2 feet tall, so it's.
So we just sort
So
of
Zoe
lay
probably
back in
comes
the
right up to you.
grass.
I've got the machete out. I've got to carve my way through like it's the Amazon.
It really is. And it's like I say, it's like an inch thick, and it's
Yeah.
waving.
I feel like it would be quite a comfortable thing to just lie down on, just lay back in the grass, and
Absolutely.
providing it isn't poisonous or somehow sentient and after my blood, like just about everything else I have ever encountered.
You are, all of you are hit actually by how non-hostile your surroundings feel. Felix has been travelling for quite a while, so you're probably fairly used to this already, but the rest of you, you've spent time round and about Equa, Malcolm, so you've kind of seen this expanse. But for some other reason, you feel like the whole world around you is controlled. Like actually there doesn't seem to be anything hostile, almost complete order is set in around you. And while that has this overarching feeling of kind of you're in the Elven land now, and there might be something to that, generally speaking, as you look upon kind of a beautiful aquamarine sky laying down on what is a lovely soft grass, you feel incredibly relaxed. Probably for the first time in a long time.
This might be Zolan's new home. I might never leave this place. This is the kind of place he's been looking for.
Just the grassy path.
Oh, yeah. Well, these lot have been searching for quests. I've just been looking for a retirement home, and this looks great.
Welcome to the next 5
Looks
sessions
great.
of Tyranny.
Yeah. I'm not,
Zolan's retirement.
I'm not leaving.
We're going to have to drag you out of here, aren't we?
It's very nice.
So how long are you going to stay here for?
Well, 4 hours for me, I think.
Oh, long rest. Long then.
Is there any way
I
we
think
can
that's
cure exhaustion? Is there a long rest? I believe is that's
Oh,
right.
yes.
We've got my.
We're going to do 8 hours. Yeah.
We can do 8.
If we're gonna, we could camp out for the night.
Yeah.
Have we all got dark vision? Can we do a night expedition?
No, I don't have
Oh,
dark
you'll be right.
vision. I'd have to follow you.
You'll like. Oh well. Sorry, Matt. I was going to say you'd likely have torches in your pack.
I sold mine. I don't have torches.
In the small aisle of grass that the guys have trampled to go wherever they are lying down, Felix is going to lie down, sort of nose first, and look out, and he's just looking north up the road, and then south down the road, and then north up the road again, and that's how he's going to do the watch.
Do you get distracted by any little floaties that fly past?
Well, especially if there's like a little mouse like in the
Yeah.
grass, he'd be like, and he'd be like, stick to the mission, stick to the mission, stick to the mission. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so time starts to pass. Some of you are busying yourselves. You don't have to be asleep when you're doing a long rest. You sleep for some of it, but not all of it. So you're busying yourselves in the things that you do. Feel free to invent those as we go on. But the sun eventually starts moving across the horizon. For the first part of this watch, you don't see a great deal, as much as I've explained before. What you do see is as the light starts to fade, the sun kind of gets to the 45-degree position, starts to get a little bit dimmer. You start to see the occasional speck here and there of some kind of flying, glowing insect, but it doesn't seem particularly hostile. They kind of rise up from the grass here and there. You can hear the cheeping or chirping, however you describe it, of grasshoppers and various things jumping around, but they don't seem to interfere with you too much. And yeah, the day passes on. Is anyone doing anything in particular to pass the time before?
Can I rest as well as study this this weapon?
That is a very good question. You have 2 items, I believe, in you. It's the weapon in particular, which I'm going to struggle to pronounce for the rest of the session, because Jack chose the most fiendishly difficult thing to pronounce, which I'm going to go with Kusarigama?
Yeah.
I'll go with that. That's now officially what it's called in this
I really must write that down at some point.
You can spend a bit of time figuring out what it is.
Right.
Absolutely fine.
And
So how are you going to figure out what it is? What are you going to do with it?
just feel the weight of it. Just sort of some practice swings with it. I'm proficient with most handheld weapons, I believe. Some proficiency with simple weapons. I don't know if this counts.
You must have martial weapons at one point, you
I haven't got it on my sheet.
Is something that you forgot to tick in, do you think?
It might have been.
Did you,
yeah.
did you automate yours, or did
I'm
you...
certain you'll be proficient with it,
Yeah.
so don't worry too much about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just sort of testing the weight of it. Few practice swings and.
You know, if you have a 100 gold piece pearl on you, I can identify that in 10 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you?
I might have actually.
Where do you keep your wallet, Mark?
that was in my pocket. Before we came on air, I was trying to find my notes from last week, and I can't find the digital. It's wonderful. I'm going to go back to pen and paper. I can't find the notes that I left from last week, so I do have the
Ramblings with Stu.
yes the gemstone, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, you don't have a 100 gold piece pearl though.
No, don't I?
No,
Okay.
we don't.
No.
Sadly not. So it's going to take you a bit of time.
Zola would have started that if you had.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to just sort of practice with it, and
How far away from everyone are you practicing?
far enough away that I'm not going to take anybody's face off with it.
Alantrix is kind of studying her parchments and recalling what she knows.
Nice.
Ramblings of idiots, Zola.
As you practice with this weapon and learn to wield it, you start to figure out what it is. You start to figure out its capabilities and how you can perform. I'm going to choose to let you decide whether you want to reveal that or not. However, what I will say is, even though you've practiced with it and learned what it is and how it performs, it's a very powerful, fairly powerful magical item. In order to really kind of figure out how to use it and actually tune to it and get used to it, you're going to have to spend another period of study. So you have to do that over another short rest at the very least.
Okay,
It's
fair
a
enough.
short rest. Another short rest. I'm going to say it's a short
I'm
rest.
retired, so up to you now, mate.
We do everything off the cuff. It's a short rest.
Okay,
I'll give you a bit of time to read that.
I'll hold off on it for.
Lovely.
Yeah.
The time continues to pass. Zolan, what are you doing right now?
I've had a good snooze. What I do is pull the hat over the eyes and I can sleep anywhere.
Lovely.
And this place is lovely and peaceful. I wouldn't have stayed in Wick if I knew this place was up the road. I was too afraid to leave, but I would have had up there and spent most of my days there. But I probably would have had a snooze. I actually have a new thing where I can make an experimental elixir whenever I do a long rest.
Exciting. So you're going to be mixing something.
Yeah, some of this new grass looks lovely. Got to try and blow up, try and make an instrument from grass. 1 inch, that's too big for my hands. Massive, 1 inch to Zolan. I'll wield such a blade. But I'll smash it into an alchemical salve.
It's a giant
For
sword
sure,
to you.
yeah. Yeah, basically, that's what it is, yeah.
Thorin is just saying, only take what you need.
It's not an awful lot for me. Which I can't remember what it does.
The
I'll read
grass
the book.
cries as you break it.
I believe at some point I'll find out. I think I've just got to roll the dice, and randomly it will choose an experimental thing for me. I'll do that in a minute. But snoozing, probably snoring.
Roughly,
old dad snoring.
old dad snoring the whole way.
Yeah.
Roughly halfway through your rest, and that's passed, you've managed to do various things. Can both Elantrix, am I pronouncing it right? Elantrix and Felix, can you make me perception checks, please? One of you can roll with advantage, or you can both roll if you don't trust one another, which I believe may be the case.
Was it a perception roll?
Yes, please.
That is going to be 22.
Nice. Oh, 1! A natural 1?
Yeah.
Wow. So you are completely looking at Felix the entire time.
Do not trust him
Yeah,
at all.
so much so you've seen nothing else.
Every
Something
move
about
he
him-
makes.
Yeah, something about him triggers you a great deal. But you're certain that he will reveal whatever secrets he has very shortly.
It's just like a specific clump of mud in his fur. And you're like, have you not noticed that?
It's
that poop? Or is that
Yeah, is it-
is that poop or is that mud?
It's on his backside, is it?
You've been rolling in poop.
So, on the opposite side of the complete opposite side of the spectrum here, piercing your eyes far north as far as you can. Do you have monochrome vision or full colour vision?
Yes, full colour vision.
Full colour vision. That's good to know. As you peer as hard as you can to the north, you can just about make out some kind of form coming down the path towards you, so travelling in your direction. Obviously, the path is straight as an arrow, so it's very obvious to make out against the horizon. But as this is happening, the sun is going down, so you're losing light. You're pretty certain that as that sun starts to hit the horizon, you're going to lose what you're looking at.
Could he squint his eyes even further to maybe try and work out some of the details?
Give it a go. It's very far off.
It is gonna be 15.
It's not a bad attempt. As you start to peak very, very far, you notice something. And that notice is you see a small flash of a flame. Okay? Without making you make another check. No, we'll do it. If you roll a nature check with advantage. 12. It was a relatively easy roll anyway, so I'll give you some of it. It's a torch being lit.
Okay.
That gives you a little bit of information because you're in the Elven Lands. You know for a fact, there being an aqua, the elves can see in the dark.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to quickly turn. He gets up pretty sharpish, turns around, runs through the grass.
Where are you going?
And Andrew's like right in front. You're exactly the person I wanted to talk to. Someone's coming from the north. There was a torch lit.
She turns her head. I presume she can see it as well.
You can now. Now it's been pointed out to you. You can see it. You can see a torch lit. It's very far in the distance. You can't quite make out a figure yet.
How did you notice that before me?
I'm very attentive.
Did you lead us here on purpose?
What? No. Why are you so untrusting? What happened to you in the past?
Do you know who those people are?
No. Do you know who those people are? Who usually travels on this road?
Are these guys nearby?
Yes, everyone's within earshot.
Yeah.
Way within earshot.
She's going to go straight over and try and wake Zolan.
Feel free to be woken or unwoken as you see fit.
Zolan, get up. We should wake the others. And yeah, I guess between us, try and wake the other two as well.
Well, actually, if we're on halfway, that's all Thorin needs.
Marvellous. So you are officially not exhausted anymore, Thorin.
Mouse is awoken with a face like,
No.
I'd imagine the juxtaposition between the way Zolan and Thorin wakes up is quite extreme.
Am I still exhausted?
So here's your decision. Whatever's coming for you is quite a way off. So you can choose to react to it, both Malcolm and Zolan, in which case if you reacted to it, if you're going to get on guard, if you're going to move up, your rest is over, in which case you two will still be exhausted at that stage. If you realise that actually you don't care very much, you can continue on resting.
I do not care, and I would like to sleep, please.
Marvellous.
Pull my shirt up as well, and the hat down.
So Zolan's still resting. You can still be alert if you wish to,
No.
but you're still resting.
No.
Okay, Malcolm, what are you doing?
I'm still in somewhat of a grump from my loss of my pack, and gathering that these things are still somewhat in the distance. I'm just going to wake me up when they get closer.
Into the grass, at least.
Wait till they become a problem.
Yeah. So
Been a
Glentrix
long
is trying
day.
to usher you three at least into the grass.
They won't be able to be hidden because they have to be active to do that. But they're still resting. The rest of you are active. You can hide. You can jump up and down and scream. You can do whatever you like.
I think we should confront them, and then at least we know. Because if we can't hide these two, we should do it.
I reckon I'm already hidden. I'm well under that.
Yeah. If you've ever seen the movie Kelly's Heroes, it's niche. Felix is going to walk out onto the path like he's just not even bothered. He's just going to stand in the middle, slowly walking up. the road towards these people in the north.
Okay, Elantrix is going to retreat into the grass and just watch what happens.
I'm just.
But she's still watching you.
He's expecting support from Thorin.
Thorin is, he's going to join.
He's going to join in. So you're following Phil. Marvellous.
Alright.
Elantrix, are you hidden or are you just...
I'm hiding.
Can you roll a stealth check for me,
Yeah.
please?
9 plus 0. 9.
Doesn't being lying down in the long grass mean that I'm at least partially hidden anyway?
You are. Yeah, you are
Excellent.
partially hidden.
And he must be damn near invisible.
Yeah. Don't you see his cap?
I've just realised that my calves are back.
Nice.
I'm springing and just yes, Thorin is back.
Marvellous. Like a newly born gazelle. Lovely. As you are travelling towards them now, they're travelling towards
It's a
you.
slow walk. I wouldn't say
Slow walk.
travelling, but
Okay.
he's doing his best
Saunter.
attempt at nonchalant.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, if you want to.
You know, I can exactly
Oh,
is
I
it
can
gonna be-
exactly picture how he looks.
Are you going to try and be appealing, or are you going to try and be...
He's going to try and
intimidating?
look like a mighty hero.
So are you trying to intimidate them?
No, it's
Or are you
more
trying to
like
look being...
yeah,
like
like if
getting a
they
bit of
if they
respect?
were like posh people, they'd be like, "Hello there, hero." You know, they want to. He's going to be quite obviously, you know, puff his chest out.
Love it.
You know, sword over one shoulder. This is clearly someone who knows what they're doing. Yeah, nice.
You feel free to roll a performance check.
Come on, dice. It's a 1.
A natural one.
It's a natural 1. +4, 5.
Okay. You are starting to encounter something that may become a common theme, in that you are a dog. That makes you somewhat obvious to
Okay.
people around you.
Yeah.
You notice this because the people coming towards you as they come closer, you start to realise look from the distance you're at, they're getting relatively close, probably 100 feet away, they're human. For the most part, they seem human at that distance. They're wearing fairly normal clothes, but undyed clothing. They're not particularly ragged, they're quite well made, but they are repaired, which means that they're probably not from a great financial stock, if you will. They're carrying torches, some of them are carrying farming equipment, so in particular pitchforks and tools, there's a few with wheelbarrows, but there's quite a lot of them. We're talking about 15 people, roundabout. You wouldn't be able to count them immediately. It's a group of people coming along.
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 6.
Exactly,
1,
yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Counting a dog years.
He's not great at it. Yeah.
As they get a bit closer, one of them screams. And I'm looking at you going, I thought it was a halfling, but it's all hairy.
Where did you see it?
What are you?
He's an elf.
Wood elf.
What are you doing here? Please, we don't have anything. We don't have anything that you need.
Oh, this isn't a stick up. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
But you're heavily armed.
Yes, with the greatest sword you have ever seen. I agree.
Please, we don't have anything. We've recently lost everything we could possibly have. There's nothing you can take from us.
Explain. What's happened to you?
Please don't hurt us. Whatever you do, don't hurt us.
Oh, I mean you no harm. Please tell me, what has happened to you?
As this happens, people in the back are hearing this commotion, and they're starting to peer around. And as they peer around, a semicircle is appearing, and new waves of shock are coming to new people's faces as more people see you.
People.
They're of varying sizes, but they are farming stuff. These are big people, and to begin with, you're getting kind of the men and women at the front are relatively large. But as you look, you start to see younger people, children, families.
Tiny ones.
Some of the children are actually giggling
Okay.
to see a dog man. This is probably the best thing they've seen in a while.
Nice.
As this happens, an older, wizened man pushes his way through the crowd and kind of, after kind of saying, "What's all the fuss? Please, we must make it to Wick before nightfall. We don't have time for this." He sees you and is immediately taken aback. And he goes, "Wow, a fur knight? Is that right?
Yes.
Where is your owner?"
Well, it's quite a fine story. I've actually been set free. Have you seen the Fur Knights fight in Equa?
I've heard about it. We tell stories, but nothing like this. I thought it was just a rumor. There's a lot of rumors about these days.
If if you've ever seen me fight in the arena, you know that I'm a mighty hero.
Some of the people take their children and kind of push them back at this point behind themselves.
Yeah, 5 foot sword swinging.
Yeah, even the old man's a little bit kind of taken back by this.
And I'm heading north at the moment. But where are you running from?
We're from Willem. It's the next town along. Well, I guess we were from Willem. We're not from there anymore, I guess.
What's going on?
Well, it's a long story. Originally, it was originally they started with the taxes, and we managed to pay it, and then it was I forgot what it was next. Then it was the licensing. That was right. Then we had to have the licenses, but we managed to get it all done on time. And then finally, there's this obscene rumor that there was an Ophidia worshipper within the village, and before we knew it, we were evicted.
Okay. He's going to raise an eyebrow at Thorinir because he doesn't know what taxes are. He doesn't really know anything about politics. He's like, what do you make of this, friend? Is this bad?
He's just saying Ophidia.
Okay.
He's trying to remember.
Okay.
He knows it's bad.
Do you need a group of heroes?
We need a home.
Well, Wick is literally just down the road. It's no problem. We come that way.
We're hoping the augurs might give us some kind of support, some kind of solace. We've had everything taken from us. We have the farming equipment, the clothes on our backs. That's all we have.
We have one of the augurs of Nell with us. She may be able to give you some kind of name or credence that you can tell them down in Wick, and then
Really?
you'll get help maybe. Elantrix. He's just shouting at the grass. Elantrix. Elantrix.
She is angry, shaking her head.
Do you think these people can seek solace with the augurs?
I guess we're quite a way away, so she'll walk up
You
towards.
probably heard some mumbling. You probably
Yeah.
didn't get the major event of what they were talking about.
She walks towards. Oh, hello.
Oh, sorry, my lady. I didn't realise that you were here.
You're after the augurs?
Yes, my lady. Yes. I'm sorry if this is an inconvenience to you. We are leaving. We are leaving Willem as you requested.
I did not request. I do not represent the rest of the elves. I also don't represent this dog.
Well, that is quite understandable. I just assumed you were his owner.
No, he just kind of follows me.
She's so rude.
Right. Okay. Very good, my lady.
You can have him if you'd like.
Oh, that is more than we could possibly afford right now. I'm sure that is very kind of you.
No, I will give you a fantastic price.
You're damn right it's more than you can afford. I'm Felix Fernite, the Equifernite. I'm a mighty hero.
I mean, he is amazing, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's quite impressive.
I have killed things in battle.
Again, children taken away.
People would sing stories of me.
Look, what is it you seek of the augurs?
My lady, we require shelter. Arguably for good purpose, we've been taken from our homes, and we need somewhere where we can be safe.
By the elves?
Yes, my lady.
You don't need to call me my lady.
If it is your will, my lady.
Again. Head to Wick. Ask for Mary White. Say Atlantrix met you and sent you this way. And she will find a place for you.
You could have Malcolm's house. Pointing to Malcolm asleep on the floor.
He seems very bewildered. There's people appearing out of the grass as time goes on. Good lord.
Just lying here.
That is very, very kind of you. It's the best news we've heard in days.
I do have to ask you though. Are the stories true? Any Ophidia worshippers?
In our village? No, of course not. We would never. He does keep looking at Elantrix when he's discussing this. We would never. We don't keep any of the gods as we are not allowed.
You've nothing to fear around us.
Thank you.
Can I do? Felix is gonna like raise an eyebrow and look at all of them, and just kind of try to assess their innocence and see if anything does look out of place. He's seen a lot of people. Usually they were at the other side of a barrier, a mesh, when he was fighting creatures. So he kind of has a measure of maybe what people look like. So what would you call that? Maybe insight?
Yeah, go ahead.
20. That's
Natural 20.
plus 3.
Bazinga!
Well done. Well done. You are completely sure he is telling the truth.
Yeah.
However, while he's completely sure he's telling the truth, it is very clear they've gone through a relatively traumatic experience, and that's coloring everything he says. There's probably more to the story, but he's telling you the truth. As far as you're concerned, there are no Ophidia worshippers in his previous village.
Which he believes. Okay. We should probably investigate further. We're going to have to go that way anyway. And I'm pretty sure this guy is telling the truth.
Can I make some kind of DM check?
DM
/ backstory check?
As long as you're wrong.
Go ahead.
Ophidia,
Yes.
common to everyone?
You will need a religion check, I'm afraid, which is a very specific check, but it is on your sheet. So you're trying to find out what Ophidia is, or are you trying to find out whether...
There's some Ophidia in my backstory.
Okay.
I don't know if it's come out already in our previous campaign.
It has been 2 years.
Between
In
us,
that
it's
case-
come out.
Okay.
Between
let me
us,
check.
yeah.
That's fine.
The name has been.
they-
The name's definitely been mentioned before.
Video
I
session.
can't remember what
Some
context.
others I got it written in the book.
Some of you will be aware of the gods and some of you won't. That's completely normal. Not many people talk about them. Some of you will have heard of them, some of you won't. As far as I'm aware, Thorny, you have never mentioned Ophidia.
Didn't give a head. So bottled up.
Oh, well, that's marvellous. These guys seem quite ready to move on. Unless you want to keep talking to them, or is there anything you want to do? They will kind of start edging forward. This Wizardman's kind of staring at this because he's just so taken aback by it. It's probably the first positive experience he's had in a little while. So he's kind of clinging on to it, whereas the rest of the people are starting to kind of filter around him.
Okay. Yeah, Felix will actively let them pass. He'll maybe even like shoot them past. He's like, please come past. Yeah, I think maybe that's weird to them, but once they have moved on, he'll turn to the others. I guess the other two that are awake. You know, we should tread carefully in this next town. Something clearly has occurred.
As that's happening, Malcolm, all of a sudden, you hear a whisper very close to you, and somebody says,
No, that's all right.
"Well, you just couldn't bloody stay asleep, could you?" As you look around, kneeling in the grass, incredibly close to you, probably within 6 inches of your face, there is another face looking directly at you.
Is this another brownie?
No, it's a gentleman, as far as you
Higher
can be aware.
pitch.
And all you can see is shaved heads, the 2 shaved sides of a head with some kind of top knot, very close to you. You can get the smallest hint of pointed ears. So you immediately think elf, but you're not entirely sure. He's very close to you. He's wearing a military-style coat in a dark grey, and you can see a black leather armour underneath that. There's very little you can make out, probably because he's right up in your grill, and it's quite hard to get a good look at him.
Also, it's getting quite dark now, isn't it? And I
It
don't
is.
have night vision.
The darkness is creeping in around you.
So yeah, I'm quite surprised by. I mean, right here, right?
Yeah, right
6
up,
inches.
right up in your face.
Yeah.
6 inches, right up in your eyes.
So I'll jump up onto my feet, and I'm just like, what the hell? Who? What?
And are the people still nearby?
They're filtering through. So
Okay.
they're filtering through.
So all of a sudden, I was lying down in the grass, and all of a sudden, I'm up on my feet, and I'm looking down at the shadows around my feet. What the hell's going on? Who are you?
Now that is a very good question. First off, I'm not going to harm you. trust me, if I wanted to harm you, you breathe so loud you'd be dead already.
Right, okay. It's been a very long day and I'm getting very, very tired and very, very angry.
What would have been absolutely marvellous is if you'd stayed in Wick and stayed asleep while this whole thing blew over, but no. Not Malcolm, not his companions, not the people who fought Void. They're going to go trouncing across the countryside in Elven territory, figuring out where they go next.
And what would you have me do?
I'd have you somewhere safe, out of earshot, where you're not just giving alms to the poor in the first 5 minutes of you being out of Wick.
Who are you? Why are you here and who are you?
Now you're asking some good questions. My name is Silden. I'm not here to harm you.
Really? Right, okay, well that's nice. Apparently nobody around here is here to harm me, and yet all of a sudden I feel like I really want to kick something. Why are you here then?
Well, I was hoping to find you all still in Wick, and I was hoping, under cover of darkness, to take you somewhere where you might be safe for a little while longer. People are starting to talk, Malcolm. People are starting to talk about what you have done, and the rumours are spreading. Ears are listening, if you get my drift.
Well, no, not really, because as you seem to already be aware, I've been asleep for the last 2 years, so I really don't know what's been going on. And all of a sudden, we're apparently going off on another adventure, and I don't even have my pack, and my stick. I love that stick.
But at least I've got one piece of good news for you. He reaches down to the grass and picks up a staff,
Woohoo!
and he passes it to you.
Now I feel a lot better, and my trust for you has gone up somewhat, despite where you appeared. And are you standing up now, or are you still lying down in the
Still
grass?
lying down.
Correct.
Face to face.
If you stand up as well, he'll match you, so he'll stand up with you, and also give you a little bit more of a healthy distance.
Yes.
As this happens, you guys aren't, you are relatively perceptive. You will notice that Malcolm's having a conversation with a relatively tall stranger dressed in dark grey.
Are the people still going by?
They're still going by. They're not rushing, right? They've got wheelbarrows. Some of them are carrying what looks like possessions, cheap stuff, if I'm honest. So they're not taking much time. This wizard man's desperate to keep talking to you, by the way, mostly about farming and various other bits, which you can choose to either ignore or join in. But you have noticed that Malcolm's having a conversation with someone.
I know it's dark and I probably can't see very well, but do I recognise the uniform?
That is a very good question. Can you make me a history check with advantage, please?
Oh, baby.
So that's a 14. Where's my history with my +2? So that's a 16 or a 19.
A 19.
Not naturals.
Well done. He is definitely the military jacket itself. To not know about him, the military jacket itself is definitely from the Equid military. Definitely. Not only that, it's an officer's jacket. So he seems to have been someone of high rank. With your stunning history check, you will know that officers of high rank become high rank for two reasons. One, they survive long enough to be of high rank. Or two, they are related to somebody very important.
Is he of higher rank than I was?
Most likely similar. You'll notice this specifically because any reference to his rank has been removed. It's purely based on the style of dress that you get his rank. So he could be a sergeant, but equally, knowing how Acker works, he could have even been a centurion, something relatively high that would have had command over a great deal of people. But any kind of insignia or reference to what regiment he served in or still serves in, you're unaware.
Okay, so I'm sort of trusting him because of the uniform and because he's given me my staff back. But I'm still I want to know why he's here, what he's talking about, what. who's talking about us? What's this danger? Why do we need to be squirreled away somewhere safe? And why is it so important that we not be going off on this quest? Well, I'm not convinced. I'm still not 100% convinced that we should be doing this anyway.
Our unfortunate friends here, and he references the people that slave infantry, found themselves on the wrong end of a relatively significant advance by the Elven Kingdom. People are no longer welcome here, and are becoming less welcome over time. There are people talking, just degrees talking, about a group of people who allegedly have killed a god. It's just a rumour, but rumours grow, and people want to gain power and gain rank. If it just so happens that all asleep in Wick, well, it's relatively easy to go and check that, isn't it?
So by us wandering off, now they're going to be wanting to keep an eye on us, you mean?
Almost definitely.
So you're suggesting that we try and disguise ourselves, or keep a low profile, or...
Well, I didn't realise you were taking a dog with you. I mean, a wood elf would have been, I don't know, maybe I could forge something, get some kind of pass for a wood elf. A gnome, that's easy. You picked up a Lantrix, which at least gives you some level of credibility. But a dog man, really? Come on, you're smarter than this. You served, right?
Well, yes, but well, none of us have any control over him. He's an individual. He goes where he chooses.
Not according to the Elven Kingdom. He's not. He needs paperwork. I presume you have paperwork for him? Do any of you have paperwork for anything?
No.
This is still going on. This conversation's happening. He's not going anywhere, and actually, this stranger's getting relatively heated. He notices in this long room. Zola, you're probably closest. Are you doing anything in particular?
Do I feel ready to wake up yet? It's been a long and
That's-
hard 2
That's a
years.
loaded question, and I love it.
And one would like to fully enjoy this sleep. If I am asleep, and there is another 10 minutes in it, he will take them.
I have a 1-year-old. I know exactly what I'm You no longer feel exhausted.
Okay.
Malkin, despite the fact this conversation's been relatively charged, you also no longer feel exhausted.
Excellent. Fit as a fiddle.
Somewhere in the midst of that conversation, to interject, I would have grabbed Felix quite firmly by the paw and pulled him to one side and crouched down to a patronising level. Listen, I didn't tell you this before because I assumed you would know this as a semi-sentient being. You can't just go walking down a road towards everybody that you meet here in the Elven territory. You will get killed.
Why?
Because this province is for elves and a handful of other races, none of which include sentient dog.
Are you sure?
You know I don't trust you, and I think I have good reason to not. So the least you could do is not get our party killed or draw any attention to us. So next time you see a load of people walking towards us, can you kindly roll in the bushes?
It's not. I mean, it's not. It's not really my nature to kind of hide. You know, like I'm used to fighting in the arena, and people love it. Go Felix, and I'm like, yeah, killing the creatures, and people know who I am. So it's not really. But if you want me to, I can do that.
Yes. She stands back up and turns around.
He drops his head and chucks his long sword in the grass and just kind of sits down like a dog.
What's Tyranny up to?
He's just witnessed this. He's going to approach. Is it talking dogs or all dogs?
Talking dogs that walk
I'm
on
gonna-
their hind legs
I'm
and
gonna
carry a
move
sword.
over to Felix while she's still talking. Hey, buddy. No one is denying you're a hero. I believe you're a hero. But owls don't usually speak the common. It weirds humans out. Humans get weirded out pretty easily. You gotta play it cool, man. All fours and bark.
Where I come from, there's all different kinds of animals that talk. There's like big cats and small cats and dogs. I'll be honest, it's mostly cats and dogs. But in the arena, people cheer them on. They like to see them fight. People, humans and elves alike, they like my kind. So it's strange. But I'll lay low if you guys want me to lay low. But someone's gonna have to carry that sword. I ain't leaving that here.
At this point, I'll sort of come over and join in this conversation with everybody here and say that our new arrival here has said as much that having you being so obvious is likely to cause us a lot of problems. So, as much as I hate the idea of it, if you could play the part when other people are around of a dog rather than a talking dog, it might cause us less problems.
Just
Hey.
And our DM has vanished.
Which coincidentally, as you turn around and point towards where Silden was, he's no longer there. Funnily enough, he seems to have completely vanished from thin air, and nobody actually witnessed this happen. However, very quickly, roughly behind where Tharanio is, and very close to Felix, a voice appears again and says, "I'm terribly sorry, I don't want to make it personal, but really, I need to think of how we're going to get you along. You need paperwork, and really, you need a licensed owner. We can't just have you walking around. Is there somebody here who you would like that to be?"
Felix is a free dog. He doesn't have an owner.
Do you have any paperwork, any trace, or anything that I can verify that with?
My paperwork was given in Equa at the arena. I was released. I'm a freed man.
They gave you nothing, no receipt of freedom, or receipt of purchase, anything?
No.
Okay, it would take days, probably a 10-day, 10-day to get anything anywhere close to Equa. I'm not going to be able to verify that, so I'm going to have to forge it.
Okay.
In which case, you need an owner. It's the easiest way to do this.
The only one I fully trust is Yola. Put his name on. Quick break.
Marvellous. We are going to take a quick break for no reason in particular, and we will be back.
I
with
don't know why
you.
you're still looking at the
You need
camera.
Looking at where the camera used to be.
You need to
I feel
look
like I'm always
forward
on.
to look that way.
I feel like I'm always on. Marvellous. We'll be joining you again very shortly, I'm sure. I'm
Still looking at the
estimating
camera.
10 minutes.
10
but,
minutes,
we will go from there. Thank you very much for joining us so far. We are desperate for a new camera, so please subscribe at your earliest
Well, the call
opportunity.
could say Twitch Prime, don't they?
Yeah, and if
Twitch
you're
Prime, yeah.
watching
Twitch Prime.
on YouTube, because we do upload everything to YouTube,
That's true.
ring that bell. Please
Yeah.
subscribe, please.
Please.
Please subscribe.
Please do.
And notifications and all that jazz, please.
It's not like we judge our worth as human beings based on how many people watch us online, but it's close. So please do what you can.
Like any modern man.
Anybody know how to do the thing that Jack normally
I
does?
do.
yeah.
Do you know how to do the thing? Let me
Oh,
grab
I've seen
the,
Jack
let me grab the thing. Hang on.
Now we now go to
Do
the
thing that
break.
Jack normally does.
I am wearing scopes, they say.
Squirrels.
It's a small word from our
See you in
sponsor.
10.
It's that one, and then it's gonna be.